Hey guys, this is Jean-Claude. We're back with this Worlds Collide box. Last video, we opened up a Maverick for Rick Fulford. Congratulations to you. Today's deck is going to be for Noah Smith. Let's hope you get something sweet as well. And I'll tell you what, last night I went and played Archon Chainbound. What I decided to do was I just bought a sealed deck of Worlds Collide, tried it out. I'll tell you, these decks are just really good. They're definitely on another plane. Alright, Red Archon, Dis, Logos, and Untamed. Brain, Janos, Slacked Gum, and yeah, also these Archons are very cool too. So you got a lot of different things going on there. We seem to get a lot of wings though, but as far as the bodies and heads and whatnot, and even these little patterns up and on the sides are quite a bit different compared to the first two sets. Alright, good luck! And if you yourself would like to become a patron, I do have a link down in the description of this video. Check it out. There are perks. You have a chance to win some decks. Okay. We're starting off with Untamed, Giant Gnawbill, 5 power. After a player chooses an active house, that player destroys an artifact of that house. Okay, that's a really neat card. The Feathered Shaman, 2 power, elusive, fight reap, ward each of the Feathered Shaman's neighbors. That's cool. Oh, and you have 2 of them. Ward is so powerful. Mimicry, when you play this card, treat it as a copy of an action card in your opponent's discard pile. Unnatural Selection, amber whenever you play it. Choose 3 friendly creatures and 3 enemy creatures. Destroy each other creature. Pretty good. Song of the Wild. For the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature gains reap, gain an amber. Double in your reap. So we've got 2 of those. We need some untamed creatures then. Rust Gnar, 4 power, fight. Destroy an artifact. If that artifact had an amber bonus, you gain that much amber. Imprinted Murmook. This is an awesome card. 3 power, elusive. Your keys cost 1 less amber. Really good because it's elusive and reducing key cost. Can't complain about that. Ghost Hawk, 2 power, deploy. Play, you may reap with each neighboring creature 1 at a time. It's going to go great with those Songs of the Wilds. You got 2 of those. Deep Wood Druid, 3 power, deploy. Play, reap, fully heal a neighboring creature. Cauldron Boil, 1 amber whenever you play it. Deal damage to each creature equal to the amount of damage on that creature. Now we're on to Logos. Oh my gosh, what a name. We're going to go ahead and try and pronounce this. Zik. Okay, 4 power, 2 armor. Wow, Logos creature with 2 armor. Interesting. During your draw card step, if, we won't say that name again, is in the center of your battle line, refill your hand to 2 additional cards. Okay, if this is the first card you play, you're going first. This will always be the center of your battle line. You're going to draw up to 8 cards. This is insanity. Pocket Universe, it's an artifact. You may spend amber on Pocket Universe while forging keys. Action, move 1 amber from your pool to Pocket Universe. Groupthink Tank, 4 power, 3 armor. Action, deal 4 damage to each creature that shares a house with at least one of its neighbors. Okay, so it's to every single creature. This is going to make your opponent play differently. That's kind of cool. Dr. Millie, 2 power, play. For each creature your opponent controls an axis of you, not counting Dr. Millie, archive a card. Archiving cards is always a powerful thing, and Dr. Millie here seems like he has a decent chance to archive a couple cards. Wormhole Technician, 3 power, reap. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Logos card, you play it. Otherwise, archive it. I'll tell you what, like the Saurians are huge, the Star Alliance is good. Even whenever you look back at these returning houses, maybe other than Brobnar, these things are on a whole nother plane. It really does feel like that. This Logos is so much better than Logos I've seen in the past. Big fan. Wild Wormhole, amber whenever you play the top card of your deck. A second Wild Wormhole. Twin Bolt Emission. 1 amber whenever you play it, deal 2 damage to a creature and 2 damage to a different creature. Good for taking care of elusives. Sanitation Engineer, 4 power, hazardous 1. Reap, discard a card from your hand. So that's cycling. Information Exchange. Play, steal an amber. If your opponent stole amber from you on their previous turn, steal 2 instead. Pretty good. Babbling Bibliophile, 1 power. Reap, draw 2 cards. Whew. Got a lot of card draw inside of this, Logos. And there's a second one. Insane. Ortanu's Binding, that means that Ortanu's going to be in here. I had no idea he made a return in this set. I'm still unfamiliar with the set as a whole, but that's pretty neat. 1 amber whenever you play it, deal 2 damage to a friendly creature. We have actually a couple different creatures with armor inside of Logos. We have the Think Tank and that crazy center creature, so that's kind of cool. We can play these and potentially just remove some armor. So there's a second Ortanu's Binding, you always get those, and there's Ortanu the Chained. 7 power, reap. Return each copy of Ortanu's Binding from your discard pile to your hand. For each one returned this way, deal 2 damage to a creature with 2 damage splash. With how big board control is going to be in this set, this creature just got that much better. Greater Oxlet. 4 power, taunt. At the end of your ready card step, purge a card from your hand. If you do, give Greater Oxlet 2+1 power counters. So this is a little bit like the Logos creatures we had in AOA, where at the end of the turn or starting turns you archive certain things. This is purging cards out of your hand. It's getting bigger every time. And if you've been following the channel for a while, you know how big of a fan I am about cycling cards. So this is a really neat card. I love what this thing does. Oh, and there's 2 of them. Congratulations. Is this a, okay, it's a rare. You got 2 of these in the rares? That is a great rare to open up. Snag is 5 power. Fight. Your opponent must choose the house of the creature Snag fights as their active house on their next turn. E on the Fringes, 1 power elusive. During your turn, after you discard a discard from your hand, you may purge a discard from a discard pile. If you do, you steal an amber. It is important to note this isn't just a one-time use. Every discard you discard on your turn, you can then purge a discard and steal an amber for each one. This card is completely overpowered. You save it up for a big disc turn, purge cards out of your deck, stealing amber for each one. I mean, it's so good. Some of these cards I really question how the heck they made it through the play testing without them going, okay, it's busted, we can't leave it like this. But here it is, again, they left it. Malison is 5 power. Fight. You may move an enemy creature anywhere in its controller's battle line. Then, if it is on a flank, it captures 1 amber from its own side. Infernus, 4 power. Play, purge up to 2 cards from a discard pile. Your opponent loses amber equal to the total amber bonus on the purged cards. Woo! Harbinger of Doom, 2 power, 3 armor. Destroy each creature. So it's a little bit harder board wipe to pull off, but it's good to see you at least have a board wipe in your deck. Festering Touch, amber whenever you play it. Choose up to 2 creatures. Deal 1 damage to each chosen creature. If that creature was already damaged, deal 3 instead. Last card of the deck is Exhume. Amber whenever you play it. Choose a creature in your discard pile. You may play that creature as if it belonged to the active house and was in your hand. Got some pretty good targets for that. Alright, we got to go back through this. This deck looks really solid. You got decent sized creatures, great effects. Let's pull up all the amber like we always start off with. We're actually going to pull up the Fringes here. Basically, I count that as stealing some amber. Good odds you're going to go ahead and purge whatever you have in your hand, or maybe you're going to purge your opponent's discards. Either way, you're definitely going to get some additional amber from it. Okay, Wild Wormholes. Interesting. See if we can hit anything crazy. I don't think there's anything that was going to really mess up our plans if we hit it. Song of the Wilds might get us some amber. Mimicry has a good chance of doing it. We'll pull it up, but we won't necessarily count it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 13 seems like a light amber count, but honestly, I don't think it matters. This deck looks really good. Spell cards like be amber control / steal. Mimicry, you typically will do that, so that's 1. Information exchange does it. We already discussed the Fringes. 100% is going to steal quite a bit. Infernus is amber control. Malison does it as well. Taking amber from your opponent's pool, putting onto their own creature is definitely getting you some. And let's see, was there any inside Logos? Don't think there's any real amber control there. Murmuk makes keys cheaper, so that's just something to note. It's not actually going to be in either one of those. Could have almost counted it as amber. Same as maybe the Rustnar effect, but once again, not really the most reliable. Okay, so for pure amber control, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and about 5. That's actually not too bad. I said, it's weird. The amber count is lower, the amber control count is lower, but I think this deck is really good. Let's go and pull up the creatures. We need to see how many are in here. There's just something about this deck that really calls to me. Exhume is basically going to be a creature. I think it's just the fact that there's so many different ways to cycle. The creatures that you're going to be playing, your opponent basically has to deal with immediately. And if it's a creature they don't have to deal with immediately, it's something like Dr. Millie, where you already got maybe a really cool effect from it, so it didn't matter. And plus, like, wards from these guys are going to be insane. So we have 1, 5, 10, 15, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 creatures. And I'm telling you, these guys are all really good. This is artifact control. The Rustnar is artifact control. These wards, just putting on like 5 power creatures so you can basically do free 5 damage is going to be big. Also making something like Rustnar be able to always survive a fight no matter what. Even if your opponent has bigger creatures, that's a really big deal to be able to take artifacts off your opponent's side of the board. Reducing amber is nice. Ghost Hawk get a whole bunch of additional amber, especially with those Songs of the Wilds are just really good. Man, this deck is so powerful. I love this deck, Noah. Doing everything you can to keep this in the center of your battle line. I mean, 2 additional cards. Whew. That is so strong, and it takes 6 power to take it off the board. It's insane to me. But yeah, I mean, like it's Dr. Millie, you know, maybe that's one of your weaker creatures overall, but it still has a good chance of being able to archive a decent amount because of how board heavy Worlds Collide decks are. Technician's going to get you some additional cards. I mean, this deck really does move. The Engineer, Technician, Millie, Zen, whatever. There's just a whole bunch, it felt like. The Babbling guys, you got 2 of those. They're helping move it. The Greater Oxtet's going to move your deck. Being able to return some of these guys. I mean, I don't know. This is really, really powerful. Also, this deck has a lot of thinning inside of this. You can thin your own deck with Infernus, so your deck becomes more consistent with maybe 2 other houses. Heck, you might just try and actually burn all your discards away. I mean, this is a great dis house, but being able to get yourself down to where you just have 2 houses in your deck, that's really powerful. I mean, maybe you keep the dis as much as possible. I don't know. The only reason I would say maybe burn them all is because of the fringes here. It's going to give you a great odds just being able to get rid of a whole bunch and plus Oxtet, all these other things. But maybe you do keep some of them simply because, I mean, the Logos does help you power through, but I don't necessarily know if that's really that great. I think you keep the Untamed simply because there's a lot of tricks to the Untamed. The Song of the Wilds, the Cauldron Boils, to being able to lower everyone's creatures down, Mimicry, being able to constantly get that again very quickly is really good, and obviously these ward creatures. There's just a lot of great things inside the Untamed that whenever you combine it with whichever other house you want to keep, I think it's going to be a solid choice. Alright, Noah, I mean, this thing looks really good to me. You got bigger steals if you need them. You got light amber control. I think the creatures force your opponent to deal with them basically immediately, and that's why this deck is so good. You're always putting your opponent into a position where they have to answer what you just played on the previous turn. Whenever there's any turn that goes by where they can't deal with your board or what you just laid out, man, you're going to just run away with the game. Alright guys, well thank you very much for watching my videos, and I will see you next time.